Hello everyone. We're going to look at a two-way relative frequency table. So we're kind of looking at how the components compare, how the component values compare to our totals. So this says that a survey was given to 200 students in grades 9 and 10 about their favorite cafeteria food. So first of all, just notice the two categories, right? We have grade 9 or grade 10. That's the first consideration. Then we have, do you like pizza, cheeseburger, or tuna more? Which is a hilarious trio for me. I would go pizza, personally. And when you submit this assignment, you can tell me where you would go if you want to. I'd love to hear. So 200 total students are surveyed. We see our 200 in our grand total in that bottom right corner. And it says, based on the information in the relative frequency table, which statement is false? Okay. Statement 1, I'm going to move my photo over here. The number of grade 10 students that prefer pizza is 40. So we are looking for grade 10 students, and we're looking for those that preferred pizza, which is 40. So this one is true. Okay. B, second option. The proportion of students in grade 10, so we're just focusing on those students in grade 10, okay, that prefer a tuna sub is 17 over 90. So 17 students in grade 10 prefer a tuna sub, and there's 90 total. So that one is also true. So that's good. That passes our check. Of the students that selected pizza, so it's telling us first to just focus on students that selected pizza. The proportions are in grade 10 is 40 over 65. So we do have 40 people that selected pizza, but the total amount of people that selected pizza is actually 105. So this is our false statement. That is what we're going to select as our answer. To explain it, we can say when writing proportions, we always do part over total. 40 students in grade 10 preferred pizza, and there is a total of 105 grade 10 students. So the proportion would be 40 over 105. So that's what we got for that one. Let's look at the last one just to show you how that one's true. The proportion of students in the survey that selected cheeseburgers, so we're focusing on those cheeseburgers selections. The proportion of students in the survey that selected cheeseburgers is 58 over 200. So we did get 58 students who wanted cheeseburgers in total out of the total 200 students. So that is true as well. So C is our false. And then you want to give yourself, explain your thinking using your own words on why it's not 40 out of 65. Okay. Once you have part A complete, you can push ahead to part B. So I'm going to go to the next slide. It's still the same two-way table. So it says this question has 3 parts. We just did the first part. Now we're on part B and part C. So here's our table. It says convert the two-way frequency table of the data into a two-way table of row relative frequencies. Okay, write each value in the table as a decimal rounded to the nearest hundredth. Remember, hundredth is 2 decimal places, okay? So since we're doing row relative frequencies, we are using these as our totals, that 110 and then the 90, okay? So we're finding the percentage of just 9th graders that wanted pizza, cheeseburgers, or tuna sub. So notice that the total on the right is 1 point, hold on, let me things around. Okay. Notice that also at the top, side note, you can open up a calculator and it will pop it up onto your screen. So our totals that we're using, like I said, are 110 and 90. So when we take 110 and divide it by 110, we get a relative frequency of 1. So that is how we got this value of 1 here. And same thing for 90 over 90 gets us that relative frequency of 1. Good. So for the first row, when we're just focusing on grade 9, just grade 9, that's it. Right here. We're going to take each of these numbers and divide them by that 110. So we have 65 divided by 110, which gets us 0.59. So what that means is about 59% of ninth graders chose pizza. Now let's look at cheeseburgers. 25 divided by 110. 0.227, which we will round to 0.23, just to show you why we did that. If we get 0.227, but we just want to the nearest hundredth, so we only want 2 decimal places. So we look at this 7. Because it's greater than 5, that's going to tell us to round this up to a 0.23. And that's how we got that value there. And then finally, 20 divided by 110 gets us 0.18. And these 3 should all add to 1, right? 0.59 plus 0.23 plus 0.18 gets us 1, which is 100%. So 59% want pizza, 23% of ninth graders want a cheeseburger, and 18% of ninth graders want a tuna sub. Beautiful. So now we're going to do the same thing, but with our bottom column. So now our total is 90. So we have 40 divided by 90, which gets us 0.44. 33 divided by 90 is 0.37. And again, it's because I'm rounding this. 0.3666. We want 2 decimal places. Because this 6 is bigger than a 5, we round this up to a 0.37. And then finally, we have 17 divided by 90, which is 0.19 rounded. I'll show you that. So we have 0.188. We only want 2 decimal places, so we check this number. Since it's greater than a 5, we're rounding that up to a 0.19. And we can check, make sure 0.44 plus 0.37 plus 0.19 equals 1, and we're good. So there's our row relative frequencies. So because it's a row relative, we used our row totals of that 110 and 90. Beautiful. Part C says, based on the information in the row relative frequency, which 2 statements are correct? Okay, the first one says, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Of all the students surveyed, 59% preferred pizza. That is not correct. That is of all the grade 9 students surveyed, 59% wanted pizza, but not all the students surveyed. So that's false. Of the students in grade 10, 37% prefer cheeseburgers. Yes, we agree with that. That's in grade 10, 0.37. Whenever you want to go from decimal to percentage, you just times it by 100 and you'd get 37%. Next one, of the 9 students who prefer of the students who prefer tuna subs, 18% are in grade 9. Of the students who prefer tuna subs, that's 37. So that would be 20 divided by 37, which is not 18%. That's looking at a column frequency, not a row frequency, so that's false. An equal number of grade 9 and grade 10 students are represented. We have 110 in grade 9 and 90 in grade 10. Those are not equal. They're different values, so that is false. And last one, grade 9 students seem more likely to prefer pizza over grade 10. So when we're looking at pizza here, yeah, 59% prefer pizza in grade 9 versus 44% in grade 10. So that last one is true. So you want to select those two options. And then you'll notice on slide 3, you should have 3 green check marks. That means that you got them all correct and that they're looking good. Beautiful. Make sure you have done all of these, part A, B, and C. And when you're all set, make sure to turn them into Schoology, okay? Reach out to me if you have any questions or if you want to find a time to meet. Let me know. Bye, everyone. Take care.